Okay, good evening, parents. You have seen a series of videos. I made them all on the same day. You probably could have guessed. Because your child has been working really hard with fractions. And unfortunately, YouTube, there was some issues with me uploading, so I'm hoping to get these all up tonight at the same time, and you will have them. This method, they will learn tomorrow, so don't freak out if they don't know it tonight. So today is the 6th. They will learn it Thursday the 7th, February 7th. I almost said January, February 7th. But they're working on an algebraic problem. Your student should be able, or really needs to be able to know that, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, the order of operations, parentheses, exponents, which we have not gotten into, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. They will be doing addition with mixed numbers in the addition properties of an algebraic formula. So they're given something like this with parentheses, 1 1/4 plus 1 1/4, close parentheses, plus 2 3/4. And this is how it should be worked out. We start with parentheses. So we are just looking at this section right here, 1 1/4 plus 1 1/4. They should be able to do that pretty easy. 1 plus 1 gives me a new whole of 2. 1 plus 1 gives me 2/4. Our denominators are the same. As you notice all the way across is like denominators, so that 4 will not change at all in this problem. And then we bring down the rest of the problem, plus 2 3/4. Now this is where the problem starts to get a little tricky, and they have to use several different methods, such as regrouping that we learned earlier this week. So starting with our wholes, 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. Again, our denominators do not change because they're like denominators, so that makes it 5/4. However, they cannot stop. This is not a proper fraction. They need to change this. So they need to pull out the whole, 4/4, to make the new fraction 1/4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Your denominator does not change at all. This whole needs to be added to the wholes already given, plus, to make it 5 1/4. So again, your answer should be 5 1/4. I know this sounds kind of tricky, and if they had a hard time with adding fractions with like denominators or pulling out those wholes and adding it to the already given wholes, the algebraic addition problems are going to be tricky. But don't worry, we'll get through it. If they need extra help, just email me. I'll gladly help them during MTSS or recess, whatever they need. If you feel like they need help, if they feel like they need help, just let me know, and I'm always here for them. As always, if you need me, please email or call. Have a good evening.